On Tuesday, April 18th, Grandview got a unique experience to hear from a Holocaust survivor, Ozzy Sladek, to help educate about the Holocaust through his eyes. Ms. Navarez, along with Ms. Whistler, helped organize this special experience.
So with my contacts through this Memorial Foundation and also the Mizell Museum here in Colorado, I was able, through my contacts, to secure for Grandview survivors to come to Grandview to speak about their experiences during the Holocaust.
Last summer, Mr. Navarez got to go to Poland to see the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camps with his own eyes. It left an impact on him that he looks to bring to Grandview.
My mind couldn't wrap around the idea that an entire nation poured all their resources into literally creating camps where they would send people to murder them. How did nobody stop and think to themselves, what are we doing? Right? How are you building these gas chambers? How are you building the crematoriums? How are you building these massive camps? And nobody looked around and said, what are we doing? You know, it's all well and good to learn about these things through books and videos and stuff like that, but this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me to actually go to these places, see with my own eyes, and feel the actual places and experience those places where these atrocities took place. And I wanted to bring that kind of hands-on and kind of experience something live, even for my students here at Grandview, which is why we got these Holocaust survivors to come to Grandview.
Ozzy Sladek tells high school and college students across Colorado about his experiences.
I enjoy talking to young people because I was a kid when all of this happened to me. I survived as a young kid, and so that I feel like talking to young people, I think they will understand me better.
And it's there that the importance of first-hand accounts shine through.
Obviously, we were there. Most of us have memories, and what we say is the truth, okay? And that's what's important. You know, that not too many of us are left from that era because unfortunately I am among the youngest people who survived. That's why I'm still here talking to you today.
We think of Holocaust victims as old women or grown men. These were children who were literally put into camps. Think about a 7-year-old being put into a camp that's meant to kill them.
That people should be aware that some kids who survived were like almost miracle children after the war, after the Holocaust. And because, you heard that 1.5 million kids died in the Holocaust. And they were the first ones to be taken, to the chambers, to the gas chambers, because the Nazis had no use for young children. In some of the camps, the Nazis set up this game where you have to go underneath like this, Limbo, there you go, thank you, yeah. If you were able to go under it, that meant that you were a kid still, young kid, and they went straight to the gas chambers. If you were not able to do it, it means you were taller, and you were good for them to do slave labor.
Recently, anti-Semitic attacks are on the rise in the United States. According to the Anti-Defamation League, since 2013, anti-Semitic incidents has risen by nearly 400%, and in 2022 alone, there was an average of 10 anti-Semitic incidences per day.
The Jewish people who have been living in this country in the last, 100 years, only experienced one time an anti-Semitic wave in this country. For the last 50, 60 years, 70 years, there was no anti-Semitism. The Jewish people had freedom like everybody else in this country. But today, it's beginning to show its ugly face, ugly head, and it's a shame.
We as Americans are not impervious to policies and actions that affect and harm whole groups of people. We're just not. And so we have to understand and study the Holocaust to kind of look inward and say, okay, how can we make sure that we recognize the signs and never follow these paths again?
It's very important because you live in a real democracy. I lived in freedom my early years, and practically overnight, when this change happened with the government. All of a sudden, we became slaves, so to speak, of the government. So that's why I want people to understand that in any place, governments can change very fast, and people always have to look out and watch to see what's happening on the government level.
The most impactful stories are the ones that stay with us. And when speaking of the Holocaust, every story is impactful, as no day is a guarantee.
I had, several close calls, okay, in my story, in my survival, and so we were lucky that we were hiding in the mountains, the Tatra Mountains in Slovakia. Nearby there was a group of partisans who lived there, and we felt good about it because they used to come and keep an eye on us. We lived in wooden huts, and they used to come and keep an eye on us. So that was very meaningful to me, because there's somebody around that will kind of, if for any reason the Nazis come up to the mountains, they would know about it. Christmas 1944, Christmas Day, I remember it all the time. The Nazis came up from the valley into the mountains to look for partisans and for Jews. That was a very crucial day for us. My parents and I got out of our cabin, where we were hiding. The partisan told us, disperse because the Nazis are coming, Some of us dispersed and the others stayed. They felt like, this is a lie, they're just trying to pull our leg. We left and we hid in a cave. And that was a very scary time for me, because if they would have caught me, I wouldn't be here today, talking to you about it.
A special thank you to Ozzy Slatic and Meg Robinson from the Mizo Museum for coming to Grandview. Special thank you to Mr. Navarez and Ms. Whistler, among many others, for helping organize the event. I'm Jake Zhao, reporting for GVTV.